not only in person, but also addressing cases via Zoom. The entire proceeding is being recorded and live, and I guess we're live streamed also on the Zoom application. These are a list of misdemeanor cases in which individuals have already been accused of one or more charges. Bonds have been set. I hope discovery has been exchanged since the cases were accused. And today, at the present time, I have a status calendar where I'm going to get a snapshot of what's going on in certain cases. And then I've also got a show cause calendar as to why a particular action should or should not have been taken. So if you are a defendant who's appearing via Zoom or appearing in person, please remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you choose to tell the court or an open court about the facts of your case or the allegations, or to discuss these factors of your case, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. You cannot afford one. You should have applied, or you will have an opportunity to speak with a member of the public defender's office to see if you qualify and will be appointed with counsel. I'm trying to figure out, well, let me start with my show cause calendar, okay? And this is, I have a couple of prosecutors already on Zoom, and I have Ms. Rosenberger and Mr. Gaither in the courtroom. I have Ms. Helen also on Zoom. Do I have any other attorneys? I have a couple of private counsel. One, counsel, what's your name, please?
Alex Merritt.
And your client's name?
Kasani Henry.
Kasani Henry. Ms. Riley and Mr. Cutchin, which one of you has that case?
Good morning, Your Honor. You said it was Henry.
Yes.
Is this on the status calendar?
This is regarding a restitution hearing.
I do not have anything regarding a restitution hearing, Your Honor.
All right. Counsel, may I have your case number?
Yes, Your Honor. Case number 20CR005142F.
That was 20 CR 005142F.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, just give me a moment.
Thank you.
And I will look that up, Your Honor.
Did we leave the issue of restitution out there?
Yes, Your Honor, and you ordered us from the bench to appear today at this time.
Okay,
I do not have a written notice. I never received one, but we knew to be here.
okay.
Thank you, Judge.
And good morning, Your Honor. The note in Odyssey shows that the case was on a jury trial calendar. Good morning, counsel, Mr. Merritt. Is that correct? In June, was it on a jury trial calendar?
It was June 27th, and my client entered a plea.
That's what the notes show judges. The last date was June 27, 2023 for a jury trial. But we did not receive any notice on the calendar that it was on today for a restitution hearing.
Yeah, it was on the, well, that's whoever was the prosecutor at that time. We informed the prosecutor that if they want to pursue the restitution matter, and it was on the disposition sheet, it was reset for August 4th at 9 a.m. And if the host will give me screen share rights, please. I don't recall who. Do you remember who was the prosecutor, Mr. Carson? I
could look through emails to figure that out, Judge. Off the top of my head, I do not remember.
Okay.
It appears that it may have been Ms. Waldrop. She's the one who.
Oh, it was Miss. It may have been Miss Waldrop because she submitted the null pros order at that time. And yeah, here's my taking down the plea, and right here, restitution hearing reset August 4th, 9 a.m. And council was informed, the state was also informed just as much as defense counsel was informed in court. So I can give either one of you an opportunity to reach out to Ms. Waldrop or to see if you have information about the restitution. Otherwise, I'm going to dismiss the request for restitution and leave the disposition as it was on June 27th.
Yes, Your Honor, if we could have a moment, and also believe Miss Jackson, Astrid Jackson, if you could make contact with the victim.
Okay, what's the case again, sir?
Yeah. Here's the case number again, 20CR005142F. All right. By the time I finish the call of the calendars, the show cause, and then hopefully the state will give me a decision by then. All right, counsel, if you'll just sit tight for a moment, we'll see where we're going with this.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, moving on to the show cause calendar. Tyler Andrews, Tyler Terrell Andrews, are you present in the courtroom? Are you present on Zoom? All right, there's this person walking around with a water bottle in her mouth. All right, either you sit down in one spot or you put your video stationary in one location until you hear your name called. But you need to be seated and wait for your name to be called. All right, thank you. All right, and Tyler Andrews is not responded. We will do the appropriate announcement at the end of the call of the both calendars. Unique Clements.
Good morning, Your Honor. That is my case.
Good morning, Ms. Helen.
Good morning, Judge. I've entered in my appearance for Ms. Clemens' case. I just want to announce pretrial with the state, get the offer, and that'll be our announcement for Ms. Clemens, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Riley and Ms. McCutcheon, have you all transmitted the offer to Ms. Helen?
This is good morning again.
position two.
Yes, good morning again, Your Honor. Ms. Riley, is that your case? Position number 2?
On the show cause.
Yes.
All right, if you could put in the chat or in the email to Ms. Helen, the proposed plea offer, then Ms. Helen can speak with her client. Is the Zoom user Unique Clements?
Yes.
All right, please mute your screen, and if the host could please correct the name on the screen to first name is Unique, common spelling, last name is Clemens, Clemons. Thank you. All right, position 3, Tony Curtis Evans. Tony Evans. Tony Evans is not present. Randall Harrison. Randall Harrison. Randall Harrison is not present. Charles, middle initial R, Johnson. Charles R. Johnson. Mr. Gaither, that's your client?
Oh, sorry, Judge. I haven't had no contact with Mr. Johnson.
All right. Let's hope that he makes a peep by the end of the calendar. Christopher Jones, Christopher Jones. Christopher Jones, not present. Joseph Terrell Lockett. Joseph Terrell Lockett. All right. Shasta Yvonne Moon. Shasta Yvonne Moon. Matthew North Cross. Matthew North Cross. Christopher Paxi. Christopher Paxi. Quaston Parker. Quaston Parker. If either Ms. McCutcheon, Ms. Riley could give us an update. Position 11 is supposed to have completed diversion or is still ongoing. Either you can give me an update or with regards to the case. Quaston Parker entered the diversion program in February 25th, 2022. This is an update. So more than a year later. So hopefully he's done. Ariel Plaza, Ariel Nia Plaza, right? If you hear your name called, stand up, say present, right? I just happened to look up and Miss Plaza is present in the courtroom. Miss Plaza, do you have an attorney? All right, have you, you have a right to appointed counsel if you qualify? Would you like an opportunity to speak to the public defender's office? All right. Anthony Smith, Anthony Lamar Smith. Aisha Thomas, Aisha Thomas. Ellen Walker, Mr. Jason.
Good morning, Judge. I just received a text. Mr. Walker was told to go to courtroom 2D. I just told him to appear down here in G33. And when he arrives, I'll explain to the court what's going on with this case.
All right, I'm just going to put down an OTW on the way. Okay. Deontres Williams, Deontres Williams. Deontres Williams is not present. And Federico Williams, Federico Williams, not present. All right, moving on to my calendar.
Your Honor, did you want the announcement on position number 11 that was reportedly in diversion?
Oh,
Is my-
whenever you're ready.
Yes, my notes in our system show that ASG Jacob Stevens verified the defendant is not in the diversion program. That was
Is-
position number 11, Mr. Quassam.
Okay, not in diversion.
Correct. So if he does not appear today, Your Honor, the state would be asking for a bench warrant for all of the defendants if they do not appear by the close of business today, the end of the calendar.
Oh, all right, understood. Thank you.
Mhm.
Moving on to the status calendar. Position number 1, I have Demetrius Batson. Demetrius Batson.
Good morning, Judge. That'll be my case. I did speak with Mr. Batson this morning, sent him the Zoom link. I expected him to be on. If we could hold just to see if I can get in touch with him.
Okay,
And Your Honor, the state would request a bench warrant if he does not appear by the end of the calendar.
understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tyvianta Cone, Tyvianta Cone, don't know, this is a Mr. Cone. Mr. Cone, this is a diversion matter. This is a date for, this is the update on his diversion status. If either of ASGs could give me an update, that would be good. Hopefully a little better news than the previous update. Darius Culbreth. Ethan?
Good morning, Judge. That's my case. Is Mr. Colbert present?
Mr. Culbreth, are you on Zoom? Mr. Culbreth, no?
Let me try to contact him, Judge. This is a diversion matter where we spoke and he told me that he hadn't received an email from the diversion people on what to do. I received an email from someone in the solicitor's office regarding the diversion program August 2nd. And so evidently there's a disconnect somewhere regarding Mr. Colbert's with connecting him with the diversion or either paying or something. So give me a chance to give him a call to see where he is.
So he's confused about,
I'm saying there's a disconnect because he's telling me his position is he hasn't received anything or an email from the diversion program on where to go, who to report to, what to pay. He hasn't received nothing.
okay, get on the phone with him and tell him he needs
Sure.
to show up either by Zoom or in person.
Absolutely.
Position, so Mr. Culbreth is not present, right?
He's not present, so yeah, let me find out where he is.
Dale Ehrenberg.
Right.
Yeah, right, sir. And Mr. Ehrenberg, you are here on the issue of diversion. Miss Riley or Miss McCutcheon, any updates? Mr. Ehrenberg is in the courtroom.
Yes. Mm.
Any announcement?
And I'm sorry, Which position are we on? I'm talking. with
Position
Mr.
4 on the status calendar.
Thank you. He was not, he never completed diversion, so diversion, he is not in diversion.
What, all right? Mr. Ehrenberg, are you represented by counsel?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I've been in contact with Saritha, is that her name?
Sarita Githia?
I don't know how to pronounce the last name.
Sarita is good. Miss Sarita? All right.
She sent me an email this morning and said that, to show up at court, which I did, and, to bring the letter from the VA showing I am 100% disabled for PTSD from my
Okay.
Vietnam service, and I have it for you.
All
The
right.
original, I sent
If,
her. a
if you
copy.
could please just hold 1 second. Is that your partner, your spouse?
Yes,
All right, ma'am, if you could please approach with the letter.
yes.
Thank you.
Also my caregiver.
Understood. So you have to listen to her 100% as well.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. If we may see that letter, please. And we promise to give it back to you.
Thank you.
Ms. Riley, shall I send the letter to you or to Ms. McCutcheon?
Your Honor, you can send it to me, and actually, Ms. Givia has sent some information regarding Mr. Ehrenberg, so I will review that and make a further announcement.
Monica, can we scan and email it? All right. We're going to scan and email that letter to the prosecutor. If you please have a seat, and we promise to give you back the letter. All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Ehrenberg, if you please hold, I'll get a report from the prosecutor, and then we'll move forward from there.
Sure thing.
Okay, you okay otherwise? You all right sitting there? You are all right?
Echoing in my hearing.
Okay,
Are you all right sitting there?
I'm fine sitting here. No problem.
okay. Yeah, my husband also says my voice echoes in his head, but most times I'm not there, so. All right. Position number 5 is Gerard Gregory. Gerard Gregory. Gerard Gregory. Not present. Brendan Griffin, Ms. Rosenhuber.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Griffin is on Zoom. We have spoken about the case. I don't believe we'll be able to get that worked out today, and we would request a final plea date to continue negotiations and investigation.
All right, what's the holdup?
Well, Judge, I believe that there are other witnesses that our office specifically needs to talk to, just involved in the case to kind of talk.
Other witnesses, this has been since 2019.
Yes, Judge, and I just got this case. I believe these cases may have come from July 6th or 7th, if I'm not mistaken.
June 27. Let me just confirm, sorry. Yes, you made an entry of appearance on June 10th. The case was arraigned in October 18th, 2021. He entered a not guilty in 2021. Then now is with Orca, set ready for trial. Discovery was apparently produced on July 20th. So let me see, what is it about discovery? Two witnesses were identified. Yeah. I'm sorry, I just don't see where we are asking for another reset to a final plea. Have you received a plea offer from the state?
I have, Judge, and I'm happy to continue to pre-try the case throughout the
Okay.
calendar today.
Mr. Griffin, you're gonna remain on the Zoom. And if the case is not resolved today, it's gonna be reset for a trial. All right, now, next one is, gentlemen, are you here for a misdemeanor criminal case or a traffic case? Traffic case? Do you have a CIT case number? You can remain standing there.
Yeah, I do.
You need to be in courtroom 2D as in Denmark. You should go take the elevator to the second floor and walk this way to building J2.
Okay, thank you.
Christopher Hamer Hodges. Christopher Hamer Hodges.
That's also my case, and he is present on Zoom. We'll announce pre-trial at this time and report back.
All right. And this is also going to be a pre-try. All right, Mr. Hamer Hodges, your attorney is going to be speaking with the prosecutor, and then we'll see where we go with that. Latanya Harvey, Ms. Rosenhuber again.
Yes, Judge. Ms. Harvey is also my client. I spoke with her yesterday, expected to see her on Zoom. I'll try to reach out to her.
All right, let's do a call.
I'm
Latanya.
here. I'm
Cool.
here.
All right, that's good.
Great, then pre-trial, Judge.
Okay. All right, Ms. Harvey, please stay on Zoom. Are you driving?
No, I'm pulled over.
Okay, then make sure you mute your screen and wait until your attorney gives you an update.
Thank you.
Shackleton McHenry. Is not present. Position 10, Jared Peace. That case is null pros, so that matter is closed. Position 11, Jeremy Swan.
Yes.
Yes.
Present in person, we have completed a signed diversion agreement and submitted that to ASG Riser. I don't know if either Ms. McCutcheon or Ms. Riley have received that. If not, I'm happy to send it to them.
Okay, when did he agree to diversion?
That was just a few days ago, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Riley or Ms. McCutcheon, if you can confirm the receipt of acceptance into diversion, I will eventually just need an update on a return date to do a compliance hearing.
Yes, Judge. Yes, Judge, I'll reach out to Ms. Riser.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Swan, just remain until I get a return date for you to come back to court to do a compliance hearing, which means how are you progressing in diversion? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I currently live in California. I don't live in the state of Atlanta. So I had to book a flight to be here today.
Oh, you can appear via Zoom.
I appear by Zoom?
Yeah,
Okay,
for compliance.
okay,
All right. But I just need to give you the date.
okay.
And then, of course, all of us are so jealous of you. So thank you. All right, Quayton Tompkins.
Good morning, Your Honor. That is going to be my case. I just want to check to see if Ms. Tompkins is present on the Zoom call or present in court. I believe she was previously incarcerated on another court date, but now I believe she's been released, Judge.
Okay. Quayton, Quaytion, Tompkins. I'm hearing crickets right now, Ms. Helen, so.
Judge, can you just get me to the end of the call of the calendar to try to raise Ms.
Yeah,
Tompkins?
I'm not issuing any bench warrants until we've completed with the two calendars. All right?
Thank you, Judge.
Jacqueline Truitt.
That-
Jacqueline, yes, Mr. Gaither.
That's my case, Judge. This case was placed on this calendar just as a status to see, has her case been transferred to the mental health court? And no, Ms. Truitt is not present. She cannot get around by herself. She's borderline competency issues. She lives with her mother, who's 76 years old, who cannot keep driving her back and forth and has absolutely no technologically savvy. I mean, she's available by phone, but the only reason why this case is on today, because it was supposed to be trying to get it to mental health court.
And what steps were being taken to transfer her to MH?
Well, I'm gonna have to, I put it in motion, so I don't know what else to do.
See, the last time it was on the calendar was July 10. And that was with Judge Williams, and there's been no request for an evaluation, no request for transfer to MH, nothing. Nothing has been submitted since July 10.
Am I supposed to do that? If
Yes,
it's-
sir.
Okay, well then, that's on me then. I'll make sure it gets done. I thought that we
All right.
saw making requests.
Who's the prosecutor in this matter? I'm sorry, Ms. McCutcheon, is that you?
Yes, if, I don't have any information regarding this defendant being in the mental health court or having been, a motion have been filed for a competency evaluation.
No, I didn't say I was gonna file a motion for competency. I just said
No,
it was
no, no, no.
borderline.
We're just saying there has been no indicia since the last hearing. That's what we're saying. We're not saying that nothing's been.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so, Mr. Gates, if you'd like to take the steps, it has to go, there has to be a express, request to transfer it to MH court.
Okay,
And then it has to go through the qualifications. You can definitely reach out to Mr. Jordan in the clerk's office to see to whom do you need to direct those documents,
okay,
or even Ms. Redden,
absolutely. I'll take care of that.
all right? So I'm going to reset this to the next status calendar, which is September 8th at 9 a.m. And we're going to make a note is that this is pending a transfer to MH court. All right,
Okay,
and I'll put a note to file that PD will start the process to request the transfer. All right, now whether you need to do an MH evaluation or whether you just need to do an express request or a social work evaluation, you know, those are the steps that you can consult with clerk's office,
okay,
because they will let you know how Judge Porter or I don't know, is it Judge Kirk also, who goes through the pre-qualification process.
sure.
All right, thank you. Okay, Shamika Webb. All right, there she is, quietly standing up. All right. Ms. Shamika Webb, who's your attorney? Please stand up and let us know loudly and clearly. Well, that's a nice name, but I've never heard of that attorney. So do you have a full name?
It could be.
Y'all have a Jacob in your office?
There's an ASG Jacob Stevens that she could be referring to if she's going pro se, Judge.
Jacob would be the prosecutor, if that's who you're referring to. That's not your attorney. That would be the attorney who would be opposing you, not the attorney who's on your side. So you have no attorney. Would you like the service to see if you qualify for the services of the public defender's office? Okay. And have you received a plea offer?
I was told on here because of the division that's supposed to be closed.
Diversion? All right. Ms. McCutcheon or Ms. Riley, this is position 14.
Yes, Judge, an offer was communicated to her, but it does not, it's not a diversion offer. The offer was 12 months probation, 12 anger management classes, and no further contact with the victim, and stay away from the incident location.
On July 7th, we had a note on the case that case will be reset for diversion status. Is there any document in which she has accepted diversion?
Judge, no, I'm looking at the notes that were provided, and I'm going to look into our internal system as well. I have calendar notes, and I don't show any information regarding diversion, but let me just verify one other location, Judge.
Okay. It states on Odyssey also reset from July 7th for diversion status. But apparently there's been some, so you look into that and give me an update, okay?
Judge, she received a diversion offer in 2021 or 2022.
Yeah, that would be correct. And then it
Yes.
was before Judge Williams on July 7th, and then it was reset for diversion status.
Let me look at the documents, Judge, to see. And I do show that I have a certificate that she completed on May the 21st of 2022. Judge, if you can just hold on, I want to review the documents very
Definitely.
quickly.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
No problem. Okay, is there anyone? Yeah. All right. Is there anyone on Zoom, whose name I did not call? This would be a good time to unmute and let me know if you are present. All right. If I can just defer back to the show cause calendar, position number 13. We had a couple of people who inadvertently went to traffic court. Position number 13, Anthony Smith. All right, please stand up, sir. All right, Mr. Smith, who's your attorney?
I haven't got one yet.
All right, you have a right to remain silent about the facts of the case. Anything you choose to say, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to counsel. If you want to see if you qualify for the public defender's office, one would be appointed to represent you. Otherwise, you'll have to either represent yourself or hire your own attorney. What would you like to do? All right, you want to speak to the public defender? All right, you please have a seat, and then you will approach one of the two attorneys at the table. Alan Walker. Alan Walker. All right.
He's present, Judge.
All right, excellent.
So let me explain what's going on in Mr. Walker's case. Mr. Walker is actually represented by private counsel, Attorney Cohen. And looking at Odyssey, I'll explain what happened. So evidently, Mr. Cohen filed a conflict letter on April the 24th. Well, let's go back. Mr. Walker's case was on a trial calendar for April the 25th, 2023. And then Mr. Miles Stephen Cohen filed a conflict letter on April the 24th. Okay. Now, it doesn't appear, I don't see any entry of appearances, but he filed a conflict letter on his behalf. Then they showed up, even though he had a conflict in place, they still showed up for that trial date, April the 25th. Evidently, there was some negotiations between Mr. Cohen and the prosecution. And for whatever reason, Mike Wahoff, formerly of our office, had the file, and the file was transferred to me as a part of other files that I received on Mike Wahoff's behalf. I did not pay attention to the notes in Odyssey, and so I filed a substitution of counsel, which I should not have, because he was Mr. Walker was already represented by counsel. And then it appears that Mr. Walker had a status conference for July the 7th and did not appear to that status conference, which that's the trigger that put him on this show cause calendar.
All right, Mr. Walker, we're talking about you. Why don't you come down to the podium?
And so, and as he's coming to the podium, I have spoken to his counsel, Mr. Cohen, and Mr. Cohen informed me that he had a conflict for today. So I told Attorney Cohen, well, I will make the announcement on your behalf that the court continue this case based on Mr. Cohen's conflict, and I will withdraw my substitution of counsel because I should not have filed it.
I have one notice of conflict this year from Miles Cohen.
That's right. And
that doesn't apply because it doesn't apply to August. I had a substitution of counsel on May 31st.
Right, that's what.
And then since then, there has been absolutely no traffic with regards to all this confusion about who represents Mr. Walker. And of course, the first question that popped in my head is, why doesn't Mr. Walker know who his attorney is? That's the big question.
He does, which is.
Well, all right, who's your attorney?
My attorney on April the 25th was.
No, I didn't ask you who's your attorney on April 25th. Right now, as you're standing in this spot, who is your attorney of record?
I don't have no attorney, I guess.
Repeat that last comment.
Oh, ma'am, I don't have no attorney.
No.
Hang on, Mr. Gaither. This is nothing incriminating. I just need to know who the man thinks is representing him. Who is representing you?
For today?
Forever, since you were arrested in this case, right now. If you were in trouble with this case, who would you call?
I didn't get arrested, ma'am. I was here.
Since this charge was brought against you, if you were in trouble, if I said today, Mr. Walker, I'm going to find you in contempt of court and I'm going to put you in jail, who are you going to call?
For a lawyer?
Yes.
I don't have one, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Gaither, he does not have an attorney.
That is not true. So let me explain what happened, because this is not a client confidence. So what happened? As a boatload of files I received from Mr. Rothwell, I was out making sure that the court had my entry of appearances, and I filed substitute counsel. So what happened when I received this case, when I contacted Mr. Walker, that's when I realized, wait a minute, I think something's wrong here. And I pulled up Odyssey and realized he's represented by Mr. Cohen. I still gave Mr. Walker a phone call to say, hey, look, you know, you're on a show cause calendar. He was unaware of today's calendar. I did not want a bench warrant to go out for him. And then he confirmed that he had a lawyer, Mr. Cohen. I spoke with Mr. Cohen. Mr. Cohen represents him now. There's a sidebar discussion of business between him and Mr. Cohen that's between them two. As I have told Mr. Walker, your attorney, Mr. Cohen, has not filed a withdrawal, nor has an order been signed. So he is still your counsel of record. And I should
He's not here.
He had a conflict. And so that's why I'm
He didn't file a conflict.
I thought he would have. He told me he had a
What's his
conflict.
first name?
His name is Miles Stephen Cohen.
Miles Cohen.
Yeah, and I spoke with him. I told him I'll make the announcement on his behalf to
Right.
ask for a continuance to the next phase.
No, he needs to show up today. I don't have a conflict. The defendant himself just stated that he doesn't have an attorney. So unless there is something going on between defendant and Mr. Cohen that I'm not aware of, I really don't care to know about, because it's apparently some side business issues. I need Mr. Cohen here to confirm that he's representing this defendant, or you continue to represent him, and I will withdraw Mr. Cohen from the case.
Our office cannot represent him because he's
Okay.
hired counsel. So based on him hiring counsel, that disqualifies him for the service of our office at this point.
Understood. So, Mr. Gaither, are you seeking a withdrawal from this case?
Yes, I am.
All right. Your request for withdrawal from this case is granted.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Judge. Would you like me to submit an order?
Yes, please,
I
sir.
will.
Thank you. Mr. Walker, you and I be on the same page. You are not represented by the Public Defender's Office. I'm not certain what your previous attorney did or did not do, but currently, right now, Miles Cohen is apparently your counsel. Are you represented by attorney Miles Cohen?
Man, we came on the 25th of April. We was here, we was present, me and Mr. Cohen.
We were what?
He was present here for the court date for April the 25th.
Okay, so is he representing you till today?
No, ma'am.
And why is that?
I mean, I don't have no funds to pay him.
Okay,
This
that would
was-
be one possible reason.
This was unexpected about this court date for today.
Do you have his number on speed dial?
Yes, ma'am, I can call him.
You step outside, you call him, and you confirm with him whether he's still your attorney of record. All right? And if he's not, you come back in, and then you and I will discuss your options.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Okay. Again, is there anyone else in the courtroom who's just appeared whose name I did not call?
Stand up.
And sir, what's your name? Okay, is it Federico? Okay, I believe I called that name. Mhm. What position? Okay. 17, thank you. Yeah. There he is, okay. And Mr. Williams, who is your attorney?
No attorney. I need one.
You need one, right? So you are going to speak to one of the public defense counsel right there, okay? All right. Oh, somebody else would, oh, good morning, sir. Yes, what's your name? Matthew?
He's on the show cause calendar, Judge,
Okay,
position 9.
9, okay. Oh, Northcross, okay. And same question, Mr. Northcross, who is your attorney? All right, we have two public defense counsels seated up here. You can speak with them to see if you qualify, and then they will let you know the outcome. Thank you.
And Judge, we do have a note from Mr. Haddad that Mr. Northcross very recently applied for our services and does not qualify.
Okay, Mr. Northcross, here's your update. You do not qualify for the public defender's office. Would you like an opportunity to speak to the prosecutor? Because apparently you were previously informed that you do not qualify for the public defender's office. So have you hired counsel since then?
No, and the reason that it did that is because I had somebody fill that out for me, and they put the amount of money I would have been making. The store that I work at, they're up and down during the school year, Georgia Tech.
Do you have any pay stubs for your tax return?
I have it on my phone.
All right,
So that my payments went down.
I'm going to let you speak with the public defender's office one more time. Look at his pay stubs and see if he qualifies. Otherwise, he needs to either represent himself or get ready for trial.
Okay,
All
Judge.
right, thank you. Okay, Ms. Riley, Ms. McCutcheon, was it Ms. Riley? What is the status on the diversion matter? And I do beg your pardon, counsel. What was your client's name again?
Your Honor, I'm sorry, for the restitution hearing?
Yes.
Yes, I've spoken with Ms. Waldrop. We will be withdrawing the request for restitution.
All right. The request for the restitution is withdrawn. There's no other further matters. I'm so sorry, sir. Mr. Henry will continue with the disposition as issued back in June.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Y'all have a great day. Thank you. Did you have any questions, counsel?
No,
Do you
Your
want
Honor,
to speak?
I know Ms. McCutcheon. I was almost going to say hello to Ms. McCutcheon, but she used to be my trial partner. But hello, Ms. McCutcheon.
Hello, Mr. Merritt. Yes, he was one of my favorite trial partners when I was in the DeKalb County DA's office. Good to see you, sir.
All right. Good. Have a great
All get
weekend.
along, Judge. Every once in a while, we can all get along.
That's true. All right, you too. All right, the two gentlemen who just walked in, the gentleman in the blue shirt. What's your name, please?
I'm Patrice Wright.
Spell your last name?
Papa Echo Delta, Romeo Echo Charlie.
Okay, don't give me the military spelling, just the alphabets.
E-D-R-E-C-E.
C-E-D,
P-E-D-R-E-C-E. W-R-I-T-H.
okay, I can't find that case.
I'm trying to find what courtroom I'm trying to just send me.
Do you have a CIT case number?
Yeah, you know, look on your notice. What are the first letter? This is criminal restriction. I'm supposed to get in that case different from that one in court.
For diversion?
Yeah. That is not it. It's the application.
Okay, have a seat on the front row and counsel will look at that. Yes, sir. What's your name?
Eric McLemore.
McLemore?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you here for a traffic case? Traffic offense?
I just know I had a cut, 333.
Okay, and can you look up your notice and see what kind of case is it? Or the case number?
I don't even have a case number. Let me see.
He said McLemore, right?
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's a CIT case.
What was the charge with?
I do apologize, but we are here for a traffic offense. The hearings are being held in courtroom 2D.
2B.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a brief recess because some individuals need to speak to the public defense to see if they qualify. And also we have some cases in which individuals would need to speak to the prosecutor. So the ones who want to speak to the prosecutor, could you please stand up? The ones who are waiting to speak to the prosecutor, not to the public defense.
You talk to the prosecutor. You can't get a attorney.
You've asked to speak to the PD.
I do like this, so I don't have no paychecks right now.
What?
I don't have no recent paychecks right now.
He doesn't have what?
You know what I'm saying? He needs a month, all right?
That's fine. It just depends on what they want.
Judge, before we recess, I know that Mr. Swan and his family are here, and I think all we're waiting for is confirmation that the pretrial diversion agreement exists. I did just receive at 9:25 an email from the diversion team. Would seeing that satisfy the court so we can get a court date and he can be excused? Or does Ms. McCutcheon have an update just so that he doesn't have to wait while I qualify everybody?
Let me check my emails, Ms. Rosenhoover, because I also emailed to verify our diversion staff. So let me just see if anyone has confirmed. Mhm.
Great, thank you.
I can release him if everyone's on the same page that someone needs to bring diversion. And then Ms. Riley on Mr. Ehrenberg, any updates on his diversion on that letter that we just sent you?
Yes, Your Honor, I've reached out to Ms. Reiser, as this is her case, and she's saying that, her recommendation is remaining the same, which is an offer to the simple battery of 12 months probation, 12, anger management classes, and to have no further contact. She said she will, look into possibly, mental health court next week.
All right, so in other words, that he's already in diversion, right?
No, Your Honor, it does not appear that diversion was actually offered.
Oh,
Or if it was offered, he did not complete it.
okay.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
if she's talking about me, I was never offered diversion.
All right. Were you represented by counsel?
Pardon?
Were you represented by an attorney?
Were you represented by an attorney?
No.
All right. So the offer is again, Ms. Riley, repeat the offer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Probation.
Yes, a plea to simple battery, 12 months probation, 12 anger management classes, and to have no further contact.
With
them. They
I
are
don't even know who the other party is. I don't
Deja,
remember his name.
Deja Boyd and Courtney Temple. It appears from the report that they were, I guess, visiting from Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Ehrenberg, so it looks like diversion's not on the table. All right. Diversion is a program where you make an agreement with the prosecutor. You make an agreement.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Listen, can you hear me?
Yes, pretty well.
Okay. You make an agreement with the prosecutor to complete certain conditions.
Yes.
And if those conditions are completed, then the case is dismissed.
Yes,
But that program apparently was not offered to you.
it was, I'm sorry. I think Sarita or Sarita, said that possibly I would be offered 12 months of probation,
And anger management.
and 6 anger management classes. I got no problem with 12, okay? The VA is sending me to a trauma program because I have lived 54 years thinking that I died in Vietnam.
Mr. Ehrenberg?
I've got 3 programs I'm willing to go through.
All right, Mr. Ehrenberg, so right now, you have the right to speak to a public defense attorney to see if you qualify and can be represented by counsel and to help you navigate this case. Or if you choose to represent yourself, right now, the prosecutor is offering you the option of pleading guilty to 1 count of simple battery,
Yeah,
agreeing to be on probation,
yes,
to complete 12 anger management classes,
yes,
and to stay away from the individuals Boyd and Temple.
yes.
So if you want to speak to the public defense attorneys, they are present right now. Or if you want to take the plea offer please understand that you would have to waive your right to an attorney. You would have to understand that every legal decision you make, you are responsible for how it impacts your personal situation.
What's that mean?
Accept.
I'm going to accept it on my wife's advice, and she's my caregiver, yes.
And what are you accepting?
I'm accepting to plead guilty due to my PTSD. What's that?
One count of battery.
One count of battery,
What kind of simple battery?
the 12 months of
Probation.
probation, the 12 anger management classes. Now, I live 70 miles from here.
You don't have to do it here. You can do it somewhere
How about
close
the
to you.
probation? Does that have to be through Fulton
I'll
County?
make it non-reporting probation. I'll make it telephonic probation.
Okay, what else would you need,
And have no contact with Mr. Boyd and Mr. Temple.
no problem. I don't even know who he is, and I really don't care.
Ms. Riley, if you could prepare the plea documents and email them to Ms. Redden, we will print them and have them reviewed by Mr. Ehrenberg and proceed accordingly.
Yes, Your Honor. I will say though, for the record, I have some reservations as an officer of the court of Mr. Ehrenberg entering this plea. I really think he should speak with the public defender's office or have the option of mental health court. But I will do as directed and prepare the plea paperwork, but I have reservations.
I can void dial him at the time of the plea to see if he understands it, and if there are any issues, then I'll definitely decline the plea.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
And I'm sorry, miss, that I said that you were lying because I didn't understand what Sarita told me that day. So I'm very sorry.
You didn't say it out loud there.
I didn't, I thought I, okay, I don't know what I said.
Mr. Ehrenberg, we are going to have some documents for your review. And then during the plea hearing, I will make the final decision as to whether you are of sound mind to understand the terms of the plea offer and that you are accepting such a plea offer willingly, knowingly, voluntarily.
Yes.
In the meantime, we have public defense attorneys if you want to speak to them, but that's
I
entirely up to you.
wouldn't qualify for public defense.
All right, sir.
So thank you both.
All right, please hold. Okay, Mr. Walker, any updates?
I talked with him. Saying he's on the way to court. You know what's going on. Cisco had asked him, would he be able to call back, because you need to know his house.
I'm on.
Could you come to the podium, please? I just heard something, but I'm not sure what I heard. Ms. Rosenberg, are you conferring with the prosecutor?
I am waiting for the update on position 11 on the status calendar, Jeremy Swan, just so that they can be excused. Then I'll proceed with talking to the prosecutors. I just don't want
Can you do it ongoing and pre-try the other cases that you're waiting on?
I can't judge unless Ms. McCutcheon has an update.
I do, Judge. Your Honor, on position number 11, is it Mr. Swan?
Yeah.
Yes, Ms. Reiser has confirmed that she received his paperwork and she has turned that into the diversion program. So we would just need a reset date for Mr. Swan, Judge.
Okay. Let's see now. Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, yeah, I'm so sorry. I just need to get a date for you. All right, he's accepted diversion, and Ms. Rosenhuber, what is required for diversion?
It is going to be 40 hours of community service and to complete the Operation 21 course.
And is there such a program in California where he can do it?
I believe it's virtual, Judge, and they sent the link and the instructions this morning to his email.
So 40 hours community service, and he can do this program online. So
Yes.
geography is not an issue.
Correct.
Okay. And I can reset this to September 20th. It's at 9 a.m. It's not really our motions calendar, but we're resetting it well, it's in person, so it's a thing. So, Ms. Rosenhuber, if you or the PD's office would like to make the announcement as to the status of his diversion, he will not have to appear.
Great.
But if council can appear, let us know the status of his diversion, if he's completed it, and then you and the prosecutor can make the final decision as to the outcome of the case.
Great, Judge. As
That
long
be
as
acceptable?
that will be, Judge, as long as it's notated on the calendar that my client won't have to be present, I am perfectly fine with that.
Okay. Mr. Swan, your case is going to be reset to September 20th at 9 a.m. where the public defender's office and the prosecutors will announce to the court the status of your completing these conditions. The sooner you're done with it, the sooner you can let the public defense office know, so that if the matter is resolved, the state will then give me a final decision and the case will be closed out. Do you understand? I mean, you can complete the conditions long before September 20th and the case will be taken off the calendar. But you will not have to come back unless, of course, you're coming back to meet family, then that's entirely up to you. All right? Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, you're free to go. Thank you.
Thank
Do you have all this contact information?
I do, Judge.
Then we'll meet not appear.
You know how McCutcheon and Riley are splitting the calendar? Or do you know what he's doing? Step out and qualify some of these people. We're on here. Do you want? Yeah, no problem.
Yes.
I don't know.
All right. Just a show of hands, who is waiting to speak to the public defender's office? Again, who is waiting to speak to the public defender's office? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, Ms. Rosenhuber, Mr. Gaither?
Yes, Judge.
Got it? Okay, you can put your hand down. You can go.
All right, I'll
The
just-
lady in the blue shirt. Ma'am, yeah, you. If you like, you'll be next. All right. Mr. Walker, is Mr. Coleman coming down?
I don't think so, Judge.
All right. Is Mr. Coleman representing you?
I don't think he is, ma'am.
No, I don't want I think. I want a specific yes or no. Did you confirm with Mr. Coleman that he's your attorney?
I wasn't able to really talk with him. He hung up quick. He was like he on his way to court. And he just hung up. He told me I don't have time to talk with me right now.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What would you like to do with your case?
Judge, honestly, ma'am, I was just really hoping and praying that it'd get dismissed.
Could you repeat what you just said? Hoping and praying what?
That it would get dismissed. Get dismissed.
On what grounds?
I didn't do anything.
All right, so that's a dispute in the facts. So that means you want a trial.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, who's the prosecutor in this matter?
Judge, is this position 13 again? Are we back on
Position
position
15 on the show
15.
cause calendar.
15 on the show cause? Yes, that would be mine, Judge.
Two premises. First of all, I do not have a notice of conflict from Miles Cohen. I have no indication that Mr. Cohen is representing Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker has already stated in court that he is not represented by Mr. Cohen. Number two, Mr. Cohen, Mr. Walker, did you want to speak to the public defender's office to see if they will represent you?
And Judge, Mr. Miles Cohen did file a notice of
Oh, I'm
substitution.
sorry, I've already granted a motion
Yeah.
to call. So
But Mr. Cohen is still counsel in the case.
Yes, Judge, there is a substitution of counsel that was filed and
understood, but I've already spoken to the defendant himself, who said he's not represented by Miles Cohen. And I can put him under oath and have him say that too. So
I understand that, Your Honor. But respectfully, the state feels is very reluctant to speak with him since we do have pleadings that were filed by an attorney on his behalf.
Which is absolutely your right. You don't have to speak with him. So Mr. Walker has moved to dismiss the case on the grounds that he didn't do it. Does the state have a response?
Judge, the state is still standing by the case and we intend to proceed with prosecution.
All right. And so now, Mr. Walker, your request for a dismissal is denied. And you're on the basis of what you've just stated, the case is going to be reset for trial.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? This is a simple battery, doesn't appear to be a DV matter. Mr. Walker, do you want a bench trial, that means a trial in front of a judge, or a jury trial in front of a jury?
Bench trial, Your Honor.
Okay, does the state have any opposition to a bench trial?
It is a simple battery case, Judge, and it does not seem to be, as the court said, family violence related, so the state would not oppose a bench trial.
Okay, the case is reset for a bench trial on September 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Same courtroom. Mr. Walker, you are on notice right now that your case is going to be set for a bench trial in front of a judge on September 22nd at 1:30 p.m. I do not know if Mr. Coleman is going to continue representing you. I'm fairly comfortable that he's not, but then I'm always very, very open to being corrected and found wrong, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So you are going to show up in court on September 22nd, and you can either choose to represent yourself, knowing that whatever legal decision you make, you'll be responsible on how it impacts the person's situation. At the time of the trial, the prosecutor has the complete burden to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. If the prosecution prevails, you could be convicted and face a penalty of up to a year in prison and or up to $1,000 fine. So when you show up for court, make sure that you either have your attorney with you or have a new attorney with you, or that you are prepared to represent yourself during the course of that trial.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, please have a seat. I will generate a case management order. You can have that before you leave the court.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, I'm ready on position 2 of the show cause calendar if the court's ready.
Position number 2, Unique Clements. Have you conferred with counsel?
Yes, Judge, I've received the offer and I've also spoke to Ms. Clemens. Judge, this is going to be a plea today. The only thing that we were asking was whether it's going to be terminated for probation, Judge, but Ms. Clemens agrees to the rest of the offer.
Right. Ms. Riley, any objection to termination or non-reporting upon completion of conditions?
The state would not object to non-reporting, but there is a stay away provision, so we would not ask for termination upon completion.
Is non-reporting acceptable, Ms. Helen?
Ms. Clemens, do you agree to non-reporting after that mental health evaluation is completed?
Yes, I mean, I don't have to go on the report.
It's non-reported. I believe it's
Yes.
Colin.
Only after all the conditions are completed, then your probation will be non-reporting.
Okay, so how long was the probation last for? If
Probation is 9 months. And what are the conditions, Ms. Helen?
The only condition for that offer was to get a mental health evaluation completed.
You
And so,
You need to do an evaluation and submit yourself to any treatment or counseling. And once that's completed, then your probation will be non-reporting. So until the evaluation and or treatment are completed, you'll continue to report to probation. So the sooner you're done with the evaluation and treatment, the sooner your probation will be non-reporting. But I'm going to let you speak to your attorney separately on that.
Thank you.
Would you like to call her and just clarify that with her?
Please.
and Judge, I apologize. Would it be easier if we could do the breakout? She's doing the Zoom call on her phone. It makes it really hard.
Okay. With the host, please place Ms. Catrice Helen and Unique Clements in a breakout. Thank you. I have a Demetrius Batson who's got his hand up. If you could remove the hand and start your video.
Did you say Ms. Clemens and Miss Helen in a breakout?
Yes, Mr. Glanville. Ms. Unique Clements and Patrice Salas.
Yes.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I do have an update for the court on position number 14, Shamika Webb, on the Orca status. She has completed the Operation 21 requirement for the diversion program. The state will move to null process that case, and I've emailed the order to the state Orca email address.
Thank you. Shamika Webb.
I won't be, I'll be back.
All right. Ms. Webb, the state has accepted that you have completed all the conditions. The case is going to be closed. You're free to go.
Thank you.
All right. So, Mr. Batson, did you have a question since you raised your hand? All right. Who is representing position 9 on the show cause calendar? Oh, I'm sorry, he's going to speak. Mr. Norcross, have you spoken to the PD?
I see.
Okay, so he's still waiting. All right.
Yes.
Thinking about my day. Shasta Moon,
Yes, ma'am.
where are you? Okay, Miss Moon, you have an attorney?
No, ma'am.
All right.
I was in Project Orca.
Yeah, that's correct. You have a right to be quiet about the facts of the case. You know, you're charged with theft by shoplifting. So don't talk about the case, all right? And you have a right to an attorney. Would you like to speak to a public defense attorney and see if you qualify?
Yes.
All right. Have a seat, and one of the two attorneys up front will speak with you. All right. All right, we're waiting on the plea documents from Mr. Ehrenberg. Have you received them yet, Ms. Reddy?
Not as of yet. I will look in the state court Orca email and print out Mr. Gaither's motion for withdrawal for you to sign.
Okay.
And then I will.
I'm finishing that up right now. I'm drafting the email to Ms. Redden as we speak, so she has not received it yet.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Gaither. Let's go. All right, if Ms. Rosenhuber is still speaking, I think outside, and Mr. Gaither is speaking with his own client or with one of the prosecutors, is there anyone on the Zoom who's waiting to be addressed by the court? There are a couple of names here I have not called: Kyra McCoy, Demetrius Batson. The others are represented by counsel. All right. Mr. Gaither, y'all are still waiting to talk to the folks in the courtroom, right?
Yes, I'm going to speak with Mr. Frederico, and I'll speak with you as well, Ms. Moore. Hold on, give me a second.
And this young lady who just walked in, she'll also be on the list, the one right up front.
Oh, Judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ms. Moon, yeah, I'll speak with her. I think my client just arrived from the, let me speak with them, Judge, just so you know that Ms. Jacqueline Truitt, position 13. Ms. Truitt. I'll speak with them and let them know what's going on in the case. That's the mental health referral, Judge.
Oh, that one's reset to September 8th.
Exactly.
Oh.
I'll speak to them. Sorry.
And not to interrupt the court, Judge, but we are ready on position 2 if the court is ready of the show cause calendar.
Yeah, I was just waiting for announcements. Thank you, Ms. Helen.
Yes.
Position number 2 on the show cause calendar. Okay, and your client has reviewed the documents and you have, they've been signed off?
Well, Judge, she hasn't come back from the Zoom call. Again, I've spoken to Ms. Clemens. She would really like to let the court know that during this incident, it was a mental health break, a mental health incident, which is also listed in the police report as well, Judge. She did 9 days in a mental health institution for this event, Judge, and also an additional day at the Fulton County Jail. And so, Judge, she wanted me to let the court know that this did happen and she was resolving it, Judge, but to have her on non-reporting would be an extension of this probation. And Ms. Clemens would love to take the mental health assessment, but she would like for it to terminate once it's completed, Judge.
I'll do this as a non-negotiated plea with regards to the condition. So are we ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge.
All right. You have the documents all signed off?
I have my own plea paperwork that I can submit and scan to the court, as well as Ms. Riley.
Well, if it's non-negotiated, there's nothing needed from the state.
Right. If it's not negotiated, all I need is for Ms. Clemens to have reviewed the documents with her attorney, and then she can give her attorney express permission to sign up on the documents, as long as she understands what what is being signed on her behalf.
Understood, Judge.
So would you like a moment, Ms. Ellen?
Yes, Judge, if I could get 5 minutes to just complete this and scan it and send it over, Judge.
Certainly, thank you. While we're waiting, Mr. Ehrenberg, and that was Ms. Riley as well, right? Okay. Mr. Ehrenberg, is that a mobile chair that you're seated in?
Yes, it is.
All right. If you can move the chair forward.
Yes, ma'am.
Deputy Dale.
What?
No, no, he's good, he's good.
Oh, you want me to come over there? I'm sorry.
You let me know. And this is Ehrenberg, you may be standing next to him.
You want to just stand right in?
No, sir, you can remain seated.
Just come over here.
That's right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Riley, all right. We are addressing this particular case, which is number 4 on the Orca status calendar. This is State versus Dale Ehrenberg, case number 20 COB 000287. Mr. Ehrenberg is present in the courtroom and representing himself. Mr. Ehrenberg, I have advised you of your right to remain silent. And I've also advised you of your right to counsel. And that you understand that if you choose to represent yourself, that you are responsible for any legal decision you make, how it impacts your personal situation, your criminal record history, any professional jobs you may have, your residency, if applicable, and so forth. Are you still prepared to waive your right to counsel and represent yourself?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay. Please raise your right hand for purposes of plea. Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony you provide will be the truth and best of your knowledge?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you put your hand down, sir. Mr. Ehrenberg, my name is Judge Lala. I'm going to ask you some questions. And if you don't know the answer, just simply say, I don't know. Okay? What is your full name?
Dale Wayne Ehrenberg. Let me get this out.
That'll be fine.
What all am I giving you? Dale Wayne Ehrenberg.
What is your date of birth?
June 18th, 1949.
All right. Who is the woman standing next to you?
This is my wife, Christine Greer Ehrenberg.
And I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you remember your wedding date?
Oh, yeah, it was just the other day. Not our wedding date, but our anniversary.
Anniversary.
July 29th, 1983 was our wedding date.
Oh, is that correct? It's right. Right. My husband always forgets my date, so.
She usually forgets it.
I'm just,
I know it by heart.
Do you know what today is?
The 4th of August, Friday.
Thank you. Ms. Riley, I have been having a conversation with Mr. Ehrenberg in the courtroom. I can personally observe him. I do believe he's of sound and lucid mind, and I'm very comfortable with proceeding with this plea. Does the prosecutor have any other concerns?
Your Honor, just that the state is in receipt of documentation regarding Mr. Ehrenberg's condition and being 100% disabled. The state would prefer for Mr. Ehrenberg to benefit from mental health court and have that as an option. However, if Mr. Ehrenberg is still willing to move forward with the plea, it is 12 months probation, 12 anger management, and no further contact with Mr. Boyd, Mrs. Boyd, or Mr. Temple.
All right, Mr. Ehrenberg, there is concern as to your mental health status. The question is, are you prepared to go forward with this plea? If you are willing, voluntarily doing so, and that you understand the rights that you're waiving and the responsibilities that you're taking on.
I accept what I pleaded to today. I understand. I'm sorry. I'm fighting a headache today too. I'm sorry. What was your second?
Do you understand what you are agreeing to today?
Oh, yes, very much so.
Do you understand the document that was presented to you?
Yes, I do.
The court is comfortable that Mr. Ehrenberg is prepared to go forward with this plea willingly, knowingly, and voluntarily. So will the state please articulate the terms again? It was 12 months probation, and what else?
12 anger management classes, and to have no further contact with Deja Boyd or Courtney Temple.
Any objection to telephonic reporting to probation?
No objection.
And any objection to termination upon completion of the 12 anger management classes?
No objection.
Mr. Ehrenberg, you've heard the terms of the plea offer by the prosecution.
Yes.
If you finish the 12 anger management classes, then probation will end. And probation will be via telephone.
Okay. Now, I've got to set up a payment plan, don't I, for the probation?
I believe, yes.
Probation officer?
Yes.
Will they contact me or can I do it today?
You can do it today is Friday, you can do it next Thursday. And we will give you information on how to contact the probation office.
And as far as the anger management, is that available on Zoom or can I find a class near me?
Find classes that either doing online or in person.
Okay, I'm waiting on the VA has got to modify my van so I can drive better than I do. So if I could do it online, it would help me a lot.
we'll find him.
Yeah, we'll find one in Lamar County where we live.
I
Buxton or Clay County.
I have absolute faith that your wife will be able to assist you in getting those classes. The sooner you're done, the better.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Ehrenberg, also for the purposes of me accepting your plea, do you agree that the alleged offenses occurred in Fulton County, Georgia?
Yes, they did at a Target store over in.
Just answer.
That was in Fulton County, Your Honor. Yes.
Do you agree that the alleged perpetrator is you?
Oh yes. I got totally out of hand.
And do you agree that the facts and the allegations as claimed by the prosecution are true and correct?
Yes, I do.
All right. Mr. Batson, I know you are fighting a headache right now. Have you consumed any medication recently?
I had to take
You don't have to tell me what you took, just whether you consumed it.
just legal stuff that I'm given. Okay.
All right. And are you still able to understand the proceedings so far?
Yes, I am.
And Mr. Ehrenberg, has anyone forced you or induced you to take this plea offer today?
Not at all.
And are you prepared to do so willingly, knowingly, and voluntarily?
Yes, to all three.
You have read through the documents presented by the prosecution. You understand that if you plead guilty to one count of simple battery today,
Yeah.
that you will give up your right to have a trial in this case.
Yes.
You will give up your right to go back to court, to face your accuser, to have the assistance of counsel, to challenge the evidence brought against you, to have the opportunity to examine witnesses, and also to have the prosecution carry its burden to prove the original charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Willingly.
How do you plead to one count of simple battery?
I plead guilty, Your Honor.
Your sentence is 12 months to be on probation, which will be telephonic. You will make sure that your address, your current contact information are all true and correct.
Yes.
You'll report to probation via telephone, during which time while you're on probation, you will complete 12 anger management classes, whether in person or virtually. Once you've completed these classes, your probation will terminate. While you are on probation, you are to have no contact with Ms. Boyd and Mr. Temple.
I don't know who they are.
All right. That concludes this hearing. Ms. Riley, anything else to add?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
All right. All right, that concludes this matter, and then we will take up, Mr. Clemens, if you will have a seat, we will have you fill out the information from probation, give you the contact information, and then you're free to go.
Okay, Your Honor, I'll just wait over here.
A few more moments to fill out the probation information.
Oh, this one.
And Ms. Riley, you'll submit the null cross on the damaging property of a utility company and the one count of battery, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Hey, Dale, you ready?
Ms. Helen, are we ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Redden, please send the documents for unique claims.
I apologize. I sent them to Mr. Randolph. Was that inaccurate?
Just reroute that email to Monica Redden, please.
Yes, Judge.
And Judge, while that's happening, is the court ready to hear a few announcements on qualification status?
Yes, I'm waiting on the plea paperwork. You may proceed. Which happened?
On the show cause calendar, Judge, I've got 4 announcements. Okay, for position number 9, Mr. Matthew Norcross, he did present pay stubs. He does qualify. I intend to file an entry of appearance, request discovery. We would just request a status date.
Okay. Mr. Norcross, you are represented by the Public Defender's Office. Your attorney is Ms. Rosenhuber, the young lady who spoke with you. So the next time the judge asks you who's your attorney, you will know who to say, right? All right. Your case is reset to the final plea calendar. That's going to be at 1:30 p.m. on September 8th. You would need to appear in person, same room. And Ms. Riley, do we have a plea offer for Ms. Rosenhuber to mull over?
Actually, Judge, I'm handling that case for today. And just to make the court and Ms. Rosenhuber aware, the state did request that the district attorney's office accept this case, and we're waiting for a final word back from them. I just checked with Ms. Reiser to date. We've not received that word, but just so that counsel will know, based on the factual basis, we have made that request. But I'm aware that the court's resetting it for final plea.
All right. And
offer today, Judge, because the state's position is that it should have been charged as a felony. The state's recommendation would be 12 months to serve.
All right. So, all right, that's what we have right now.
Okay, thank you.
May Mr. Norcross be released then?
He may, Judge.
All right, Mr. Norcross, thank you very much. You're free to go. Come back on September 8th at 1:30 p.m. Thank you.
Okay, Judge, my next announcement is for position number 12, Ms. Ariel Plaza. She also qualifies for her services. I will be filing an entry of appearance, requesting discovery and an offer from the state. We would request a status date since this case is brand new to me.
Okay, Ms. Plaza is present. All right. Ms. Plaza, you know who your attorney is now? Okay. And this is from November 5th, 2021, so we'll reset it to the next status calendar, which is September 8th at 9 a.m. And is there a possible plea offer in this case? For Ariel Plaza, position 12 on the show cause.
Yes, Judge, the offer that was communicated was 12 months probation, 12 anger management classes, stay away from the incident location, and no further contact with the victim.
All right, Ms. Rosenberg, you all can make that request for discovery. Maybe it's already out there, but since you've just been added as counsel, you may want to re-request so that access to discovery.
Absolutely.
And Ms. Plaza, your counsel will discuss with you the information she receives plus the this possible plea offer if you all want to consider that. And then we will see you on September 8th at 9 a.m.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're free to go. Thank you.
My next announcement, Judge, is for position number 13, Mr. Anthony Smith. He also qualifies for our services. I intend to file an entry of appearance in this case as well. If we could get that same September 8th status date, please.
And Ms. McCutcheon, do you have a plea offer for this case at the moment?
Yes, Your Honor, the offer would be 12 months to serve 30 days, the balance on probation, the Family Violence Intervention Program counseling classes, and no further contact with the victim.
Any credit for time served?
Judge, the offer that I have from Ms. Skithia does not, or Ms. Reiser does not indicate credit for time served. Of course, the state would verify that by operation of law, he would receive it, but I do not have any indication today.
Okay. Indicates over here that he served 4 days.
4, okay, Judge. But of course, the state would not be opposed to him getting credit for the 4 days or any time already served.
All right. Okay, Ms. Rosenhuber, that's the offer on the table for Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, your case is reset to the status calendar of September 8th at 9 a.m. for your attorney, Ms. Rosenhuber, to share any information she receives during that time and to also discuss this plea offer.
Yes, you're good. Thank you.
Okay.
And finally, Judge, position number 17, same calendar. Mr. Williams also qualifies for our services. I'll be filing an entry of appearance requesting discovery. We would request the September 8th status date.
This one I'm going to reset to the September 8th final plea calendar at 1:30 p.m.
And Your Honor, the state's offer on that case, the state's record shows it's a first in lifetime, first in 10, first in life DUI. And so it would be the statutory minimum regarding the, and a $300 fine and the statutory minimum on the other conditions.
Apologies, Ms. McCutcheon. Were you reading an offer for position 16 or 17?
Oh, 16, I'm sorry, were we on 16?
We're on
This is Federico Williams. This is.
My apologies, Your Honor. I heard the last name Williams. I apologize. That was.
That's okay. That's
That was
okay.
for number 16. The plea offer for number 17, which is a theft by, is theft by deception, yes. On a plea to theft by deception and theft by taking, 12 months probation and a theft prevention class.
And 1 theft prevention class.
Yes. Mhm.
And would this be a plea to both counts, or will the state would or null cross one of them?
Judge, I'd have to look at the factual basis to see. Ms. Reiser doesn't indicate, but I will be candid with counsel in the court. The defendant did have a subsequent arrest. So that is why we're not recommending diversion for this case.
All right.
I'd have to look at the factual basis, Judge, to see whether or not these are the same victim or whether or not they merge. But for now, I will say the plea would be a concurrent offer as to both charges.
All right. Where's Mr. Ferrer? So, Mr. Federico Williams. So right now, the offer is that if he wants to plead guilty or nolo to these two charges, the offer is for 12 months to be served on probation, to complete one anti-theft class, and then after that, probation will be non-reporting.
Understood, Judge. Thank you.
So if you want to speak to your client about that today, we can take that up. Otherwise, we will see him on September 8th at 1:30 p.m. in court, in person, to address this matter. Okay, Judge. Mr. Williams, do you want to speak to your attorney?
Yeah, you said no, right? So, and you said probation is what it?
If you qualify for a nolo plea, then I will accept that. But you can talk to her, she's here.
And I do have to pre-try about 4 other cases of clients that are on Zoom, Judge, so I may be bouncing back and forth, but
That's
I'm happy
fine.
to keep speaking with them. Thank
All
you.
right, so that's presently what we have. Okay, so those complete your announcements. Mr. Gaither, did you have any announcements?
I'm still trying to get into contact with my client, Mr. Darius Colbert.
Okay, so I'll just wait on that. And that's the young lady right here, Miss Moon, who's also waiting for an interview. I'll have you.
I'll interview Miss Moon.
And Judge, we were already on position 2 for Ms. Clemens.
That was the next case I'm taking up. Okay.
Thank you so much, Judge.
One day I'm gonna make you all do and multitask all this, okay? And then, so, let me see now. Miss Unique Diamond Clemens is position 2 on the show cause. Case number 21 CR 004-294F. Miss Clemens, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is Miss Catrice Helen. This is going to be a negotiated plea hearing on the 1 count of disorderly conduct. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes. I apologize, Judge. Didn't mean to interrupt you. It's non-negotiated.
Oh, you're absolutely right. This is a non-negotiated plea. So Ms. Clemens, what we're going to do first is hear the prosecution as to what they are recommending in terms of a sentence. And then after that, I will hear from your attorney. I will make a decision as to which recommendation I will accept, keeping in mind that I also have the right to not accept either recommendation and schedule this case for trial. So Ms. Riley, what's the state's position?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would expect the evidence to show, if this proceeded to trial, that on August 5th of 2021, multiple officers responded to the Randall Paulson Architects on 85-200 A Mill Street for various employees that had called and reported a female had entered the business and was yelling and threatening the employees. 2 officers observed Miss Unique Clemens yelling and cursing at staff, holding a large wrought iron hinge in her hand. Upon seeing the officers, Miss Clemens yelled, "Call the government," and seeing the large piece of metal in her hand, one officer responded that he was the government, asked her to step outside. She refused. As he grabbed her and took her outside, pulled her outside, she was brought to the floor and was handcuffed, but she continued to kick and spit towards the officers. The state is recommending for this disorderly conduct 12 months probation, a mental health evaluation, and any treatment that is recommended. She is to stay away from the business, and the state would not object to probation becoming non-reporting upon completion of conditions. Miss,
Is there a stay away?
Yes, there's a stay away from Randall Paulson Architects Incorporated, which is located at 85-200 A as in Apple Mill Street in Atlanta, Fulton County. Miss Clemens has a conviction in 2018 for DUI. in a 2019 conviction for possession of cocaine.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Helen?
Yes, Judge, this is a non-negotiated plea. When I spoke to Ms. Clemens, she mentioned that during this incident, it was a mental health break in which she spent 9 days at a mental health institute, even to receive treatment for that break from this incident at 85-200A Mill Street, Judge. And so when I spoke to her, she's agreeing with the mental health evaluation, but also at this point, she is not employed, Judge. I'm glad that the state gave her accurate history of just the possession of cocaine with the DUI. She doesn't have a long history being a violent, dangerous offender. That's why we're asking for it to be suspended, Judge. She also has a daughter that lives in Fulton County. Her name is Beautiful Clemens. So she does have strong family ties, community ties, Judge. She doesn't pose a risk of leaving or reoffending, Judge. So we'd ask for it to be balance suspended once she completes that mental health and any treatment that may be recommended with that mental health evaluation.
All right. The court is going to accept the defense's recommendation. And Ms. Clemens would like to proceed with the plea. It will be 12 months to be placed on reporting probation. While she's on reporting probation, she is to seek the evaluation from a qualified mental health provider. And if the provider recommends that she needs additional treatment or counseling of whatever kind that the evaluator deems reasonable, that she must, it's not a question of if, she's a question of must, submit herself to that treatment or counseling at her individual expense. Once the mental health provider has signed off on any additional treatment that's required, then her probation will terminate. At all times, she is to stay away from 85-200A Mill Street in Atlanta, Georgia, which is the architect's office. All right. Is that something that Ms. Helen, shall we proceed with the plea?
Ms. Clemens, would you like to proceed?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, she's already under oath. And Ms. Helen, do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
We do so stipulate, Judge. We ask this court to accept the plea as it is.
Ms. Clemens, have you consumed any medication recently?
No.
Have you consumed any alcohol recently?
No.
Have you been able to understand your attorney and the proceedings so far?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes.
And has it been explained to you that if you decide to plead guilty to one count of disorderly conduct, that it would be, this is going to be a no plea. If you decide to plead no contest to disorderly conduct, I'm ready. No, I'm reading the notes. Was this a guilty plea or a no plea, Ms. Helen?
It's a guilty plea, Judge.
Sorry.
It's a guilty plea, Judge.
Yeah, I got it. If you decide to plead guilty to this charge of disorderly conduct, that you would have to waive your constitutional right to have a trial, to be able to confront your accuser, to be in a courtroom with your attorney so that you could challenge the state's evidence, examine witnesses, present any defenses that you may have, and if you choose to do so, as well as have the state try to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how do you plead to one count of disorderly conduct?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Your sentence is 12 months to be placed on reporting probation, during which time you will need to complete a MH evaluation and any treatment that's required by the evaluator. You will continue to report to probation as long as you are completing the evaluation and any treatment that's required by the evaluator. Once the evaluation and if required treatment are completed, then your probation will be completed and terminated. At all times, you're not to return to the architect's office located at 85-200A Mill Street in Atlanta, Georgia. While you are on probation, you're also required to be compliant with any treatment and medication that's been prescribed for you. Do you understand, Ms. Clemens?
Yes, I just have one question. So once I get the mental evaluation and go through all those procedures, once I turn it into the public defender or however, I mean, to the probation office, it's terminated, correct?
Once you complete the evaluation, and if the evaluator says that you need to go for additional treatment, then your probation will continue as long as that treatment is not done.
Okay, and if they say I don't need any longer treatment, then my probation will be
Complete. Correct. Then your probation will terminate, correct?
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
No, ma'am.
No, Judge.
Okay, that completes the case.
Thank you.
And you report to Ms. Clemens, you report to probation in person next Thursday at 132 Mitchell Street.
Hold on. 132 what?
Well, get your pen and paper and then tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
You report to probation next Thursday, August 11, 2023, before 3 p.m. The location is 132 Mitchell Street in Atlanta, Georgia.
All right. And so at that time, once I could bring my the evaluation there, correct? To that first initial appointment?
Evaluation must be dated anytime after today, not an evaluation that you've done before.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is Ms. Clemens excused, Judge?
Yes, thank you. Ms.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Ms. Rosenberg, have you interviewed everyone that needs to be?
I have, Judge, and now I'm getting through the pre-trials. I still do need to speak with Ms. Riley about positions number 7, Mr. Hamer Hodges, and position number 6, Mr. Griffin. I have, however, had an opportunity to pre-try with ASG McCutcheon. I don't know why I have such a problem with your name. McCutcheon, it's not that hard. I'm so sorry. About position number 8, LaTanya Harvey. I think Ms. Harvey is still on the call, or she was.
I'm still here.
Give me an announcement of the ones that you've done.
Okay, I did pre-try Ms. Harvey. We are not in a place where we can resolve that today. I do need to speak a little bit further with ASG Riser about this case. And Judge, we would request just a final plea date at this time.
Right. This is the DUI matter. Is it the standard request? Is this a first in a lifetime DUI, Ms. McCutcheon?
Correct, yes, Judge. And the offer was the statutory minimum for DUI, first DUI.
Understood. This is going to be reset to September 8th, final plea calendar at 1:30 p.m. Ms. Harvey would need to be in court in person, not Zoom.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Harvey, I'll be in touch with you. I tried to call you a couple times, but you may be.
Oh, I didn't know I was on Zoom. That's why I didn't answer. I'm sorry.
All right, Ms. Harvey, can you put your, you can start your video?
Oh. It said that it's been disabled. It says the host has disabled it.
Try it again.
Let's see.
Okay, all right. Ms. Harvey, put in the chat feature of your Zoom, put your phone number, your best phone number in the chat to Sarah Rosenhuber.
Thank you, Judge.
I don't want any excuses that you cannot reach your attorney.
I think it was just that she was on Zoom and didn't want to click out of the Zoom.
Yeah, that's what it was. I just didn't want to.
I appreciate it.
I saw someone calling, but I didn't want to afford it to be hung up.
And she can respond to you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Judge. And Ms. Riley, are you freed up to give me a call?
She just announced it to everyone, so it's right down the chat.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I've got that number, Judge.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Harvey, in person on September 8th at 1:30 p.m. in courtroom G33.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're free to go. Next announcement, Ms.
I don't have other announcements right now, Judge. Ms. Riley, are you available to speak with me on the phone?
Yes,
We're gonna put you all in a, you're in a breakout.
breakout.
Also?
Or, yeah.
I can take my whole computer. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Glasgow, if you could place ASG Denise Riley and PD Sarah Rosenhuber in a breakout room, please. Thank you. Thank you.
And Your Honor, before I go to the breakout room, I received communication from my office that people are waiting to get into the citation only Zoom. I'm not sure who's.
Miss Lewis, I'm sorry to
Okay.
interrupt. Ms. Lewis has informed me that court is over. And they
Okay.
might have been late.
Missed it. Okay,
Yes.
thank you. I will let them know.
Okay. So Ms. Riley is going on, and Mr. Gaither, do you have any announcements?
No, I don't. Well, other than Ms. Shaw's position 8 on the show cause calendar, Ms. Shasta Moon, she qualifies for our services, and Ms. Sarah Rosen, who will be representing her.
Oh, Ms. Wilson will be representing?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Hope she knows that.
Yeah, she does. I told her. She's going to a breakout room.
Moon is still outside?
Yeah, I told Ms. Moon just to wait outside. Ms. Rosen Hooper will come speak with her.
Mr. Gaither has reached capacity. Judge.
Oh, okay. Okay, culture. Okay. All right, we'll be in recess until, Miss, do you have any announcements to make on any of the cases you pre-tried?
No, I'm still trying to make one last ditch effort for Darius Cobra. He's position 3 on the status calendar, and it's a simple diversion issue.
Okay, let me just go over the show cause calendar.
Okay,
Can you take it down from Ms. Rose?
sure.
Okay. If you hear your name on Zoom, please make sure you unmute and let me know you're present. Position 1 on Orca show cause calendar is Tyler Andrews. Tyler Andrews. Right, Tyler Andrews has not appeared. Miss McCutcheon, I don't know if that's for Miss Riley cases, or do you want to make an announcement?
Judge, I'll make the announcement while Ms. Riley is out. Bench warrant, please.
All right, bench warrant is granted. And this is going to be $500 on each count. The total bond is going to be a $1,500 surety. Position number 2 was a plea, so that matter is closed. Position 3, Tony F. Curtis Evans. Tony Curtis Evans has not appeared.
They would request a bench warrant at the close of the calendar.
This is a bench warrant and it's a $500 surety. Position 4, Randall Harrison. Randall Harrison has not appeared.
They would request a bench warrant.
This is a bench warrant with a $500 surety. Position 5, Charles R. Johnson. Mr. Gaither,
I've had no contact with Mr. Johnson, Judge.
is this going, and is there an announcement?
They request a bench warrant.
The bench warrant, this is going to be a $3,000 surety, $500 on each count. Christopher Jones, Christopher Jones. No response.
They request a bench warrant.
Going to be a bench warrant, that's going to be a $1,500 surety, 1,000 on the battery, 5 family violence, and 500 on cruelty. Joseph Lockett, Joseph Lockett.
Case, state request a bench warrant.
That's a $500 surety on a bench warrant. Position number 8 is in conference with attorney Ms. Rosenhuber. Position number 9, Ms. Rosenhuber has filed an entry appearance. The case is reset to the final plea calendar at 1:30 p.m. in person. Position number 10, Christopher Papaxi.
I'm sorry, Judge. On position 9, may I ask, what was the date for the final plea calendar?
Oh, September 8th at 1:30.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Christopher Papaxi, position 10, has not responded.
They request a bench warrant.
It's a bench warrant, it's a $500 surety. Position number 11 is Ms. McCutcheon. This is Carson Parker, who has not appeared. And
That's correct, Judge. And he's not in diversion. The state would request a bench warrant.
a bench warrant with a $500 surety. And we'll take a note that he is not in any diversion program. Position number 12, Ms. Plaza is represented by Ms. Rosenhuber. Case is reset to the status calendar on September 8th at 9 a.m. Position 13, Anthony Smith is represented by Ms. Rosenhuber, is reset to the September 8th status calendar at 9 a.m. Position 14, Alicia Thomas. Alicia Thomas has not responded.
State request a bench warrant.
This is going to be a bench warrant with a $3,000 surety bond, 500 on each count. Position 15, Alan Walker, is reset for a bench trial. Presently, he's either represented by Mr. Cohen or he's pro se, and the bench trial is on September 22nd at 1:30 p.m. in courtroom 1G33 in person. Position 16, Deontres Williams. Deontres Williams has not.
State request a bench, I'm sorry, Your Honor. State request a bench warrant.
Bench warrants granted, a $1,500 surety, 500 on each count. Position 17, Mr. Federico Williams is represented by Ms. Rosa Huber, reset to the September 8th final plea calendar at 1:30 p.m. Pending a possible transfer to Superior Court. Oh, no, not this one. Was it this one?
Yes, Judge, position 17.
Which one was it pending? I don't think it was this one. I think
It was 17. Position number 17.
That's the one.
Oh, no, Judge, you're right. I'm wrong. Thank you, Madam Clerk. No, it's not 17.
Position number 9. That's
Correct.
To final plea calendar pending a possible transfer.
Correct, Judge.
Okay, so that's our show cause calendar. Mr. Gaither is still trying to reach one client, but then I'll go through the status calendar. Position number 1, Demetrius Batson. Ms. Rosenhuber is representing Demetrius Batson, and that's still on pretrial. Position 2, Ty Luenta Cone has not appeared. We were waiting on a diversion update. Any information? Oh, is that Ms. Riley's case?
That's Ms. Riley's, Judge. I'm not certain.
Wait on Ms. Riley. What are your cases for this one? Oh, well, let me see. Position 4 is a plea, so that case is over. Your cases, which are your cases, Ms.
Starting at number 8, Your Honor.
Okay. So Latanya Harvey is represented by Ms. Rosenhuber and reset to September 8th. Final plea calendar at 1:30 p.m. and she has to appear in person. Position number 9, Sheckerton McHenry.
If no response, state request a bench warrant if the defendant fails to appear.
On the bench warrant is going to be set at 500. It's 100 on the brake light matter and 400 on driving while license suspended. Total bond is 500 surety. Position 10 is null cross. Position 11, Jeremy Swan, is reset to September 20th at 9 a.m. for an update on diversion. The defendant need not appear. Position 12, Quayton Tompkins is represented by Miss Helen. Miss Helen, any updates on Quayton Tompkins?
No, Judge, no contact.
Okay.
State will request a bench warrant.
Granted, it's 500 on the simple battery, 1,000 on the battery family violence. It's a 1,500 surety bond. Position 13, Truitt is reset, represented by Mr. Gaither, reset to September 8th status calendar. That's also pending a transfer to MH Court. And Mr. Gaither, then you'll.
Yes.
You'll the motion.
I will.
Thank you. Position 14, Shamika Webb is, that case is null cross. Right, so we are just holding on positions 1 through 7 for Ms. Riley to announce. All right, we'll be in recess until someone. Ms. Helen, I think that concludes your cases. You're more than welcome to stay with us for the rest of the calendar. I think she's run away. Okay. Mr. Gaither, did you have any other cases to announce?
No, that's it, Judge.
All right. Am I seeing it at 1:30?
Yes, I'm here.
Your Honor, can I ask the court, number 12 again, was that September 8th?
On the status calendar?
Yes, for Quayton Tompkins?
Creation Tompkins is bench warrant, 15.
Bench warrant, okay, bench warrant, thank you.
This is the second FTA, June 13. May 5th, excuse me, May 5th to 2020. Okay, all right. We'll be in recess until Ms. Rosenhuber has any updates. Thank you. All right, we're going to get back on the calendar to address Ms. Chelsea Moon. And that is our
Position 8 on the show cause calendar. All right, I am, Miss Sarah Rosenhuber is going to represent Miss Moon. However, Ms. Rosenhuber is tied up with some other matters and asked me to make this announcement for Miss Moon. We would just like to further notice her case to the next status calendar. There are some issues that Ms. Rosenhuber needs to look over and address with Ms. Moon, but she just can't do that today.
Ms. McCutcheon, any objection to being reset to the September 8th, 9 a.m. calendar? Pending information from your attorney?
No, Your Honor, but I will make Mr. Gaither and the defendant aware that the state's offer would be 12 months probation and a theft prevention class as to Ms. Moon if she were to plead to one count of theft by shoplifting, and she is not eligible for diversion based on her history.
Okay. I'll make note, and I understand, I appreciate that too. That there are some issues that Ms. Rosenhuber needs to look into, and I can discuss it with you off the record.
All right. Thank you, counsel. That's
Okay.
fine. Thank you.
No problem.
I'm sorry.
Please stand up. Please stand up.
I understand what, I'm on probation now?
No.
If you'd like to explain to us.
Sure. No, I was making an announcement that we're going to further to the status calendar. Just like I said.
All right, we're still waiting on Ms. Rosenhuber's announcements, okay? We'll be in recess. Ms. Riley, Mr. Gaither would like to make announcements on his cases. I'm not sure if all of them are.
It's just one. I just have one. It's position 3 on the Orca status calendar. Darius Colbert.
Okay.
I hate to say it, but I suspect something has happened because he's falling off the face of the earth. He's not, his phone is going out. He's not responding by text nor email. And I just spoke with him a couple of days ago. I'm just asking, we just further notice this to the final plea calendar, or at least give me an opportunity to figure out what's going on with him.
Okay, let's go back to Ms. Riley. This is position 3 on Orca status calendar.
Yes, Your Honor.
Darius Sanchez Colbert.
Yes, Your Honor. Oh, go ahead.
And Mr. Gaither is asking for a reset to the next final plea calendar. And the reason being,
This is a diversion case, and this was the one where I needed to see where was the disconnect. Did he not receive the information? Who do I need to make sure he gets it to? But he's disappeared on me. And I said, you know, I hate to say that something's happened to him, but I have a feeling something's going wrong. Because I literally just spoke to him a couple of days ago.
And Your Honor, being that it is diversion and it's just for compliance to see if he's completed the theft course, the state does not object to giving more time to confirm if that's been done. I'm not sure if we want to do a final plea calendar because we would think that he would be pleading. But
Oh, gotcha. That's right. That's right.
yeah.
This is reset to September 8th at 9 a.m. I'm going to put on the status calendar. And Mr. Baker, hope you can reach him and emphasize to him that he must appear.
We'll do, Judge. I will send out the squad to go find him.
Okay, there we go. The gate is called. All right. Okay, Ms. Rosenhuber, let's start with you and then I'll go on. So do you have any updates on the pre-trial cases? We've already got the update on this move.
Okay, yes, Judge. Ms. Riley and I did have discussions, and I'm looking at the status calendar for positions number 6 and 7. For position number 6, and I did just message Ms. Riley, Mr. Griffin accepts the negotiated offer that we spoke about. I know Ms. Riley may need some time to get that plea paperwork taken care of, and he is over Zoom. If the court could just be patient with us, because this offer does expire today. And for position number 7, Mr. Hamer Hodges, I think we're really close. He is just asking for more information, specifically about the Family Violence Intervention Program cost and length. And so I'm just trying to get him that information before he accepts. But I think we're really close to also getting that worked out today. That offer also expires today. If the court could just bear with me.
Sure.
He is also over Zoom. Also, Judge, on the status calendar, position number 1, Mr. Demetrius Batson, I do see his name on Zoom. So he may have appeared. I believe he was marked as not present, and perhaps while I was out.
No, I've got him present, but
Okay.
he won't respond.
Oh, he won't respond. Okay.
Demetrius Batson, you need to start your video and say something like, hello.
I'll continue to check my email, Judge. I don't know what's going on. It may be a Wi-Fi situation. But we did speak this morning. So
Okay. Any other announcements?
that's all, Judge.
So you have a possible plea for position 6 and 7 today.
Correct.
All right. And with regards to the plea paperwork and everything, it is 11, it's almost 11:30. We can resume at 1:30.
That would be great, Judge.
Okay.
That'll be fantastic. I'll be here anyway.
Are they both on Zoom, Griffin and Hamer Hodges?
Yes, they are, Judge.
Right, Mr. Griffin and Mr. Hamer Hodges, please unmute. Mr. Griffin?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know why your phone is moving all over the place. All right. All right. Don't move, just stand still. Okay. We're going to readdress your case at 1:30 p.m. on the same Zoom link to address a possible plea offer when your attorney gives you the information you want. Do you
Yes,
understand?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
1:30 today. You must appear.
All right.
Okay. So now you're free to go, but remember to keep in touch with your attorney.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Brandon Griffin.
That was
Oh, that was Brandon Griffin, excuse me. Christopher Hamer Hodges.
Yes.
All right, start your video.
Okay.
And Judge, he has not formally said that he does want some time, but
Okay, Mr. Hamer Hodges, again, you are also expected to rejoin the Zoom at 1:30 p.m. today.
Okay.
And that will give you some time to speak with your attorney and mull over this plea offer. And if that doesn't happen, then we'll be resetting the case for a final trial.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, 1:30 PM, same Zoom link, and make sure that your attorney can reach you.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay,
And I'm sorry, Ms. Rosenhoover, I haven't responded to your chat messages yet, but if you still have my number, you can feel free to give me a call once we get off of here.
Perfect. I will. Thank you.
You're welcome.
all right, so for Ms. Riley's cases on the Orca status matter, position number 1, Demetrius Baxon. Demetrius Baxon, I think he may be having some audio issues. Ms. Rosenhoover, get in touch with your client and tell him he needs to reappear at 1:30 PM.
Yes, Judge. I'll attempt to call him again and I'll send him another email.
Yeah. Just let him know that his audio and video are non-functioning, so he may have to consider a separate device. Position number 2, Tabuanta Cone, is not represented by counsel, was supposed to appear for a diversion update. Ms. Riley, anything to add?
Your Honor, I would request that if, well, I'm not showing that she was ever, a file was ever located for her in diversion. So the state would ask for a bench warrant.
A bench warrant with a $500 surety. No indication that she was accepted into a diversion program. Position number 3, Darius Culbreth is reset to September 8th at 9 AM on status calendar. Position number 4 was a plea. Position number 5, Gerard Gregory did not appear, no counsel of record. This was reset from a May 5th FTA.
State would request a bench warrant, Your Honor.
Bench warrant on, total bond is going to be 1,500, it's 1,000 on the DUI, 500, 250 on the reckless driving, and 250 on the speeding, so that's 1,500 surety. Position 6 is a possible plea at 1:30 PM. Position 7 is a possible plea at 1:30 PM today. And I think those were your only cases on the status calendar.
Yes, Your Honor.
The show cause calendar, Ms. McCutcheon has made the announcements for you. For Andrews is a position 1 is a bench warrant, 1,500 surety. Position 2 was a plea. Position number 3 was a bench warrant for 500. Position 4 is a bench warrant for 500. Position 5 is a bench warrant for 3,000 surety. Were those your only cases?
Your Honor, I went to position 8, or excuse me, through 7. But I believe 6 and 7 are also bench warrants.
Correct. Position 6 is a bench warrant, 1,500, and position 7 is a bench warrant, 500.
Thank you.
All right, we're not waiting on anyone right now, so we will resume this calendar and the 1:30 calendar at 1:30. Have a good lunch. Thank you.
You as well. Thank you, Your Honor.